Okay, 9.6. Let's focus on the question here. What if I have y equals fx? Now I want y equals to f 3x minus 6. Now, this is not obvious. This is not obvious. If I want y equals to f 3x, no problem, you tell me the scale. But now it's 3x minus 6. You will suspect that you have to do more than one calculation. So now we have 4 choices. Look very carefully. We have 4 choices here, yeah? Okay? Stretch first, factor 1/3. You will suspect so because you place x to 3x. Then translate 6 units in the x direction. That's option 1. Option 2, 1/3, translate by 2 units. Translate first, then stretch. Translate first, then stretch. So now we are talking about 2 things. Okay, which is the order? Do you stretch first or do you translate first? Does it matter? That's the first question. Second question, do we translate by 6 units or do we translate by 2 units? That's another question. Can? Okay? Okay, this one is not in your notes, but never mind, let's delete away this one. Okay, anyway, this A. Okay, let's handle one at a time, okay? A. What are we talking about in A? A says that we stretch first. Okay, I think before I go through, which one do you think is correct? A, B, C, or D? Sorry? B. Any more? Everybody says B. Okay, why don't you all think? And then we cast a poll, okay? See which one do you think is correct. Discuss with your friends, Yeah. Okay, let me go through now, very quickly. Let's say we talk about A. A says that we stretch parallel to the x-axis, factor 1/3. Now, what do we do there? Remember, when we stretch parallel to the x-axis, we are replacing x with 3x. Am I right? We will do this first. Let's remember, we do this first, replace x with 3x. No problem. What do we get? We get this. No problem. Fine. We get it. But not this one we want. We want f 3x minus 6. So what do we do next? I replace. Remember, when we do this kind of thing, it must be very clear. It is a replacement. Replace x with, if it's 6 units, x with x minus 6. Am I right? So how to do replacement? Be very careful here. When I replace x with x minus 6, I will do this replacement. I replace the x with x minus 6. Remember the brackets. Very important. So now, if I expand this bracket, what do we get? We get fx 3x minus 18, which is not what we want. Correct? Which is not what we want. We actually want f 3x minus 6. Alright? Okay. So with that, then we can be quite sure that B should be the right transformation we are looking for. Am I right? Yes? Do you know how to do B now? Yes? Okay, do B on hold. If you can understand the idea behind A, then B you can do on hold. Right? Let's stretch first. Then you realize that I don't translate by 6 units, I have to translate by 2 units. And you will get it. So must be very careful, yeah? Must be very careful. Then obviously this is a smiley face, yes. Okay, can? So the next question we are about to tackle. Does the order matter? Does the order matter? Here for B, we stretch first by 1/3, translate by 2 units. So if I translate first, right? So if I translate by 2 units, then stretch, will I still get the same graph? That's a big question. Do you follow what I'm saying? Because now we stretch first, right? Now then we translate, right? We get happy face, right? So we can swap the order. Will I still get a happy face? Okay, that's a big question, huh? Let's try. Now we translate by 6. That means we swap the order from A. Okay? I translate by 6, then I stretch. What do I see? I translate by 6 means x replaced by x minus 6. No problem. Next. Next, I stretch factor 1/3. What does it mean? It means that I will, next step, I will replace x with 3x. This replacement is the critical step. If I replace x with 3x, that means I only replace this x, you know. The S6 is unaffected. You know what I'm saying? The magic. Then you realize, miraculously, you get a happy face. That means this is what I want, you know. So actually the order matters. Yes, huh? So while B is correct, where I stretch by 1/3, translate by 2, correct. C is also correct. That means I translate by 6, then stretch by 1/3. But let's not memorize. Let's focus on the replacement method. Okay, then obviously you know D is wrong. Correct? Sorry. If you use the same idea, D is wrong. Follow? Okay, write D on your own, Ken. Write D on your own. How do you arrive at the wrong answer for D? So answer B and C are correct. Okay, very quickly I'm going to flash the answers for D. Is wrong, wrong. That's not what you want. So if you were given this question in exam, which one will you do first? Will you do translate first, or will you stretch first? Think. There's no answer. There's no one way to do it. But if it involves translation and stretch, which is less confusing? Translate first, right? So that you don't have to do this factor out. But don't need to memorize, you must know why. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay, because if you do, let's look at the question again, okay? You want 3x minus 6. B and C are both correct. Okay, B and C are both correct. Now we know B and C are both correct. But the order matters. Which one do you do first? If you want it to be simpler, there's a 6 here, I translate 6 units. There's a 3x here, I will stretch by 1/3. So I do this order, translate first, then stretch. It will be less confusing. I'm not saying B is wrong. I'm not saying B is wrong, it's absolutely right. But you must be careful when you do it. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay? Do you follow what I'm saying? Good. Okay, let's take a look. Example 11.